So, guys, welcome to B Sports Picks. So, yesterday we went 6-2 with some better props. I'm going to show you guys one very strong play in the NBA. I'm also going to show you what we've been working on, which is the Nerfies. They're called Nerfies, no run first inning. These are actually very popular plays, and they were hitting for us very well last season. So, I worked on a system. I'm going to actually be putting it into the sharp edge. I'm going to show you what that looks like, but I'm also going to explain the one play in the NBA for today. So again, guys, yesterday we went 6-2. There was a lot of batter props, one hit batter props, under RBI batter props, and then there was one in NHL that came through for the Oilers as well. So we did have a few plays yesterday. I'm going to show you one very strong play in the NBA that I really like. Now here's some shots on goal. These are not our final plays. These are just players that have been hitting their lines very consistently. So for example, Jake Sanderson right here, he's hit this line 10 games in a row. Mark Stone has hit this line 8 games in a row, and so on. Take a screenshot. Make sure to subscribe because we post these as posters inside of YouTube every single day. We're going to actually start adding for baseball as well for the one hits and for the RBIs. But for right now, this is the points, rebounds, and assists for today. You got Jabari Smith has hit this line 11 games in a row. Bruce Brown, 6 games in a row, he's hit this line, and so on. Take a screenshot. I'm not going to put too much time into this. These are not our final plays. These are just strong streaks of players that have been hitting their line. So again, guys, very quickly, I'm going to show you what the Nerfie board looks like, which is the no-run first inning. It looks super clean, but like I said, there's nothing available today. There's nothing that stands out where we should be putting our money. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like. And as soon as it's available, it's like something is looking good, it's actually going to be put into the sharp edge. So if you don't have access to the sharp edge, go to the link in the description, click on Sharp Edge. It's two weeks for free, and you get access to all the tools. Also, make sure you get the free picks and subscribe. So this actually took a lot of effort to get it to this point right here. And like I mentioned, it gives us a very clear indication if we should be going with the no-run first inning. So I'm going to give you an example right here. Ryan Weiss right here, he only started 1 game so far. So even though it looks amazing, he's got 100% hit rate. What this means is that he actually, when he did start, it did not happen. So it's 100% hit rate on that level. However, if we go to the offense for Houston, you can see that they, in the last 3 games, they've gotten 2 games with a run in the first inning. Even though they're very weak over here, they're the 27th rank. They actually do get in the last 3 games, they've gotten 2 games with a run in the first inning. So again, this is a bad example because today it doesn't match where we should be looking because it just doesn't match. So another example here. Is Parker Mosaic. I think that's how you pronounce that. You can see his career. He's hit this. They've hit off of him 64% of the time. Whenever he's played in this park, they've hit off of him 60% of the time. And again, 64 over here for the season. So again, these are bad examples, but it's very clear that we should not be going with these, even though they're green and everything looks good on this side. On this side, it does not. So basically, we need both teams to be weak on offense and both pitchers to be strong on defense. So a good example of a strong defense is right here, Chase Burns. You can see he's got 5 games in a row or 6 games in a row where they did not get an RBI in the first inning. He's got a decent ERA. And we also track something called FIP, which means that the pitcher himself without the defense. So basically, just whatever he's throwing as far as pitches and strikeouts and base on balls. So right here, again, I'm going to make this very clear. Once this is all settled in, it'll be a lot cleaner. And I actually have a legend where it explains all of this. But again, career 83%, in this park 80%, this season 83%, last 10 90%. So this is a good example of a strong pitcher, but then this guy is not. It's all 70. This is a very strong offense, and this is a very strong offense. That's why this is red and this is yellow. So everything has to match in order to be a strong no-run first inning. And I'll explain this once I see a good one. I'll explain it. But again, this tool right here is going to be in the sharp edge, no-run first inning. Last thing I'll show you inside the Poly Market Tracker. You can see it's right here. Again, it's under the sharp edge tool. That's part of what I just showed you. There's a bunch of other tools. But for example, it gave me a very clear indication that this guy had put in $74,000 and that his value had went up to 77,000. So even before the game started, he already had a $3,000 profit he could have cashed out. He has a 54, almost 53.1% hit rate. So overall, this was telling me this is a strong guy that understands NHL, and I followed him, and it hit. So this again is a poly market tracker. You can go check out my other videos. I explain what this is, but it's basically tracking the top whales inside of poly market. Last thing I'll show before the play is that these are all the plays that we have for today so far. These are all one hit props. And then we do have one in the NHL, and then the one I'm going to show you right now in basketball. If you want access to all of these plays, go to the link in the description and click on VIP. All right, out of the 3 games that are playing today for basketball, the only one that stands out to me, it looked at like the Lakers at the plus 5.5. I didn't like it, but you can see the projections here. You got Celtics, they're supposed to win by 14. The Spurs are supposed to win by 10, and the Rockets are supposed to win by 8. The only game I like on this board is the Celtics game, and there's a main reason why. Right here, it gives you the reasoning overall. You can come and read this. Again, it's the sharp edge, but like I said, they're supposed to win by 14. They opened at a 15. They went down to a 14.5. So the line is actually shifting away from them, which I don't like. And this is a huge spread. The crazy part is that even with these huge spreads, they're still covering spreads 80% of the time. So the Celtics are very good at covering spreads recently. One very strong insight right here for the expert insights, it does show that the 76ers in the last 10 games, whenever they go against top 10 scoring defenses, they've only won one time. So Boston Celtics is top 10 scoring defenses. Over here, it does tell you the win probability is 92.81%. Overall team record is 95%. Offense is 95%. Defense is 98%. And then to top it off, the 76ers barely made it into the playoffs. Plus, they have a 75% offense. That's why this is so low over here for the 76ers. The big one also is that Joel Embiid is out with an abdomen injury. So that pretty much their entire offense runs through Joel Embiid. And since he's not playing, that's the reason I believe that there's a win probability of a 92.81%. I'm not going to get into all the crazy details here, but what I'm doing is I'm actually going to buy it back. I'm going to get a little bit of a cushion, and I'm taking the Celtics at a minus 9.5. All right, guys, thank you so much, man. Again, I'm taking the Celtics at a minus 9.5. Nothing else was really standing out to me in the NBA. I was looking at the Lakers at a plus 5.5, but there was a lot of indications that I should just stay away, which I did. And then in baseball, there's a lot of contradictions. The only team I was looking at was the Diamondbacks, but the other team, it was, again, too many contradictions. I do have a bunch of batter props, which are already in the VIP. And I'm also going to look at the shots on goal and the points, rebounds, and assists, which I'm going to do right now. If they come up, I'll throw them into the VIP. Thank you so much. Let's have a great day. Let's get to 5,000 subscribers.